Hey, everybody, welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, married couple Kat.
And Paul.
And we are excited to be back for season 3, episode 9 of the Big Bang Theory,
And which is that one?
the Vengeance Formulation.
Yes, this is a good episode. We actually just finished watching this and it was almost like, okay, so that's it. The episode's over. It just goes by
It felt
so
like we were
fast.
halfway through it when it ended.
Yeah, because this one's a really, really fun episode and it's one of those that you sit there and go, hang on a minute, were they missing something? Is there something that they didn't do? Or
Yeah.
we've seen it many, many times, but it's like there are some episodes that drag on, and then there are some episodes that really go so fast.
That 22 minutes passes in 5.
Yeah, not unlike this podcast that goes for an hour 18 last week. A 22-minute episode goes for 1 hour and 18 minutes. That is,
For to
yeah,
talk about it.
for us to talk about. I think we get sidetracked quite a lot with
A little.
recipes and stuff like
You
that.
think?
So just a little bit. Yeah. What I wanted to do first off, before we get started, is next week we are going to be doing not only our regular episode, but we are going to be doing a mailbag episode. So remember to get all your answers in to questions that we've actually posted over the last month. So we can read them out on air. If there are any emails, just send them through perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com. You can also remember answer us here on YouTube. Welcome everybody watching us on YouTube. We are so sorry that one person had to leave.
And Facebook. We're on Facebook
And we're
too.
on Facebook, yes, but we had 20 subscribers on YouTube last week. We're down to 19 again. So someone didn't love us very much. But that's okay, because we're here for everybody. So if you don't love watching us, then that's okay. Maybe they've gone from watching us to just listening to us, and that's
Yeah.
fine
And
too.
that's fine
That
because
is completely okay.
once you're in the fam, you're never going to leave.
Exactly. It's like the mafia. You can never get out.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'll make them an offer they can't refuse. Um, but we also wanted just to say welcome to our top country that listens to us
Okay.
on Spotify. This is our top 5. So we're going to go from number 5.
Actually, you should go from number 5 to number 1.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Oh.
Thank you. So in order of our top 5. So number 5, welcome.
Drum roll.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Welcome, Canada. Canada is keeping the number 5 position. Number 4 is India.
Okay.
Number 3 is Germany.
Okay.
Number 2 is the United States.
Really? So who's number 1?
Number 1, welcome to Vietnam.
No way.
Vietnam
How
is our
cool is that?
number one country that is listening to our little podcast from all the way over here in Adelaide, South Australia.
Oh, wow.
So welcome Vietnam and America. They overtook you. They overtook you by 6%.
Wow.
6.9% actually, to be very, very,
I
very,
don't know
very.
how many people that represents, but
No, well, it's really amazing, and thank you very much to everybody in Vietnam that is actually listening to us.
yeah.
And the top place that actually is listening to us in Vietnam is actually Hanoi. They're actually
Okay.
the highest part of Vietnam that listens to us. Now, I went to America because I really wanted to find out who was the number 1. Now, last week when I checked, the number 1 place in the United States that was listening to us was, funny enough, Massachusetts, where I
Uh-huh.
used to live.
Excuse me, who used to live?
We used to live.
Thank you. That's where we met and got married.
Yes, but this week, California has overtaken them. by 3%. Only
I
3%.
love California.
California has overtaken. They've gone, no, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
okay, and
Massachusetts is not holding that spot.
I don't
We are taking it.
don't know if I'm saying this right,
Yeah.
but to our Vietnamese listeners, Cam on.
Okay. Now let's hope that
Don't know if
doesn't.
I pronounced it correctly, but it's supposed to be thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you to everybody. I mean, look, thank you to every country that listens to us. We
Thank you to
really,
every person that
every
listens
person
to
listens
us.
to us throughout the world. We're actually amazed. We've actually had 4,189 downloads of our
How
podcast.
many?
4,189 as of today.
Wow.
Yeah. So we really want to thank each and every person in every part of the world listening to us. You may think,
Yes.
oh, well, okay, so you just called out Vietnam because they're the number one. It doesn't matter whether you're number one country in the world or you're the last country in the world. The fact is you're taking the time
Not
out
the
of your busy
last, but
day.
the
The
lowest
lowest,
number.
yes. But you're taking time out of your busy day to come and listen to two people just ramble on about the Big Bang Theory.
And
So,
a few other things.
and a few other things like dogs and cooking and horror movies and yeah, the whole gamut of things that we say. So
Yeah.
we really want to say thank you to everybody who's listening to us, whether you're watching us through YouTube or you're listening to us through Spotify. Thank you so much.
We are incredibly grateful
So
for
yeah,
you.
so I just wanted to give everyone the top
And
five
so's
countries,
Pikachu.
and so is Pikachu as well. Now, in saying that, we are now ready to start
Oh,
doing season
did I tell you
three.
I got my new business card yesterday?
Oh, I never saw them yesterday.
I know
They
you
look
forgot to
really.
ask for one.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I'm really quite pleased with them.
Are you happy with the color?
It's a little dark, I think. Next time I'll probably make it slightly lighter.
Show me the front again. What does the front look like? Oh, okay. Well, that actually looks all right.
Yeah, and then the back has my logo on it and some other and a QR code.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to give you this other one back, which was
You don't have to
um.
give it back.
Okay, I just
You
need
can
it,
keep it.
but it was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those actually wasn't too bad. That one with the
No,
back
no,
cover.
that one was
Yeah.
all right, but
Yeah.
my business has expanded and pivoted, and it was time for a new look.
Change is time to make a change.
Yes,
I
ladies and
never,
gentlemen, I am married to a nutcase.
I never said that I could sing.
No, you didn't.
I have a sexy Guatemalaner's voice, but I do not sing. Come to me to the Casbah. We are doing season three, episode number 9, the Vengeance Formulation. I really like this episode. There are a couple parts of this episode that you sit there and go, hmm, not possible, but it's funny to watch.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, one part is not possible, and the other part is you have just destroyed an entire lab,
But I have some
which we
trivia
will
around
get to
that,
that.
so we'll get to
So
that.
the episode opens up where we're
Oh, you
seeing.
should show everybody your jumper.
I think they've already seen it, but I'll have to stand up. You ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun. So, ah, there. What does it say?
To the world, my wife is just an American, but to me, that American is my world.
Yes, that is exactly true. So, um, he wanted to go on the other side. You want to come back? Okay. So he's come back now. So we see that Howard is bringing Bernadette home after a date, and apparently she says to Howard, well, first of all, there's a joke that he's telling, and he's telling about the joke that,
It's actually a great joke.
it is two. He says 2 years later, this guy gets a knock on the door. He opens the door, and there's a snail sitting there going, "What was all that about?" And she's like, "I don't really get it." And he goes, "See, it took 2 years for the snail to obviously come back to wherever he threw it." And this is where Bernadette lands a kiss on him, and she says, "Where do you see this
Going.
going?" And he goes, "Well, I was hoping for maybe second base, which is obviously, as the boys know, is a grab on the boobage." And this is where she says, "Well, this is our third date."
And everybody knows what that means.
And he goes, we do? And she goes, yes, sex. And he goes, you're kidding. And she goes, no, that's where it usually goes. And this is where, she says, well, is it going to be a relationship or a one night stand? And he says, well, it's not uncommon for a one night stand to turn
Well, no,
into
before that, he says, just to confirm, there's only one right
one right
answer to that
answer. That's,
question.
yeah. Um, and there are people, unfortunately, that go from a one night stand to 4 children. So Um, it doesn't always necessarily mean it's a good thing.
Yeah. But most one night stands are exactly that.
A one night stand and then we're done.
Yeah.
So, um, so this is where she gives him a kiss and she goes, when you get
When
the
you figure
answer,
it out, give
yeah,
me a
let me,
call.
yeah. And I like at how he's walking away from the door going, 3 dates equals sex. Who knew? So the next scene we
That's
see
because
is,
I think she's the first one to ever go on a second date or
well,
more with him.
exactly. Now, this is the whole thing. Like, Howard is always claiming to be this ladies' man. How many dates do you really think he's ever had?
I think he may have had dates, but I don't think they ever went past a first date.
I mean, we know he lost his virginity to
His cousin,
his cousin Jeannie, but I mean, and also the guys bought him a prostitute in Las Vegas
Vegas, yep.
when he was upset
And he
about
was with
Leslie Winkle.
Leslie Winkle, but that
Yeah,
was just
that was just to get him out of the dumps of being
no,
dumped.
that was Friends with Benefits.
Yeah, it was, but Howard was thinking more than just friends with benefits with Leslie.
Yeah.
Even though Leslie made it very clear, obviously, that it was just a because he would answer the phone call, he would
It
answer
was
the phone, it would
yeah,
ring.
it was just sex. It wasn't a relationship.
Yeah, but I think Howard thought more of it than what it
Yeah.
should be. Um,
Now, I'd like to point out that
yeah.
Bernadette seems much dumber than normal in this episode.
No, she seems a lot nicer in this episode.
But she also, I don't get it a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. I don't
Okay.
really get it. Yeah.
Later, she does claim that she was playing dumb during their first few dates so that Howard wouldn't be scared away by her being smarter than him.
Yeah.
And
But
I don't honestly think she's actually smarter than him. She's just smart in a different way than him.
yeah.
Personally, that's what I think.
And one of the things that I've always been upset about with the Big Bang Theory, and everyone who's listened to our previous episodes that things happen, I really like Bernadette, but I don't like the way that the writers wrote her to become.
Yeah, I don't like her trending toward vicious in the
Yeah.
later seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, she became
Spoiler
extremely.
alert.
Yeah, she became a lot. Everyone has already watched these episodes numerous times. And this is something that I want people to think about and even email us at perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com. Do you believe, like I believe, that they should never, they could, look, they can make Bernadette a strong woman
Hmm?
without being a mega bitch.
Well,
Now,
they did that with Penny.
yeah, but in a different way. See, Bernadette, when she came into Howard's life, it was like it was a nice relationship. It was an equal relationship. Yes, they're both academics, they're both intellectual, but they were on the same level, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a little thing on Facebook a little while ago about there was a time, if you remember, that Howard was like Penny and Leonard go over to their house and was talking about, do you have problems with regards to money? And Bernadette goes, well, it does make it a little bit challenging seeing I make a lot more money or a buttload more money than he does. And he says, well, you didn't really need to say it that way. You could have just said, you make a little bit more. And she said, well, yes, I could have said that, but I said it this way. And this is where he goes, well, I bring a lot to the relationship too. And she says, what? Your incomplete Star Trek collector plates? And he goes, well, and this is in the scene, and he says, well, for your information, I just bought the other one that I needed last week. And she goes, how much was it? And he said it was only like, 30 seconds left, and it was from a smoke-free house. And she goes, how much was it, Howie? And it's like, it doesn't matter how much it
If
is.
it's not affecting the household bills and it's his money that he earned, she has no right to really say how he spends it.
Exactly. But she became really vicious. I mean, if you remember when they were playing Fortnite and he beat her on Fortnite, she got and in another scene, she gets up and she looks over Howard and she goes, Howard, and he goes, yeah, and she goes, I make more money than you do, and walks out.
Yeah.
You know, you can be a strong,
Oh, well, don't
independent,
forget
dominant.
when he and Raj went in on the 3D printer.
Yeah, and then she ends up by taking away his allowance.
Hmm.
I mean, come on, what is that?
Yeah.
That is not a relationship. But
No.
then again, Howard, I think at this stage, when he does meet Bernadette, he is so desperate and we find out at the end of this episode how desperate he really is, that he would do anything to keep Bernadette.
I don't think that's desperation. I think it was
Loneliness?
trying to tell her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah, which is another way of not having to write her the way that she became.
Well, let's get to
So
that.
as I said, so if anybody is in agreement with me, just let me know because maybe I'm wrong, that thinking that Bernadette, needed to be strong around Howard, but I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Well, she does need to be a strong woman to kind of rein him in. Otherwise, he does go a little crazy. Um, and I have no problem with her being a strong woman.
Hmm.
And it would make sense that that's what he's attracted to, looking at his relationship with his mother.
Yeah, but I mean,
But she didn't have to become a bitch.
no. I love Bernadette, don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
really wish that they had kept her. They don't have to keep her mousy and stupid.
No,
What?
but it wouldn't have been a big drama to, okay, it would not have been a big drama to keep her nice, and it would not have been a drama to not make Amy hit on Penny in an
Yeah,
uncomfortable pseudo lesbian fashion.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
with
there's
Bernadette,
nothing wrong with being lesbian,
no.
but that was just a weird, uncomfortable thing with that had with Penny.
Yeah.
And it just there was no need for it.
Yeah, and with Bernadette, it's like keep her nice,
Yeah.
but keep her in an equal relationship footing with Howard.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe every now and again you just got to try and rein him in a little bit, but
Yeah.
don't go mega bitch.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
made people not really like Bernadette.
Yeah, exactly.
So we see the next episode, the next season. Sorry, the season.
Scene.
The next scene we see is Howard is in Caltech
Mm.
cafeteria and asking the guys about dating and sex. And we find out that, um, yeah, poor old Leonard has had a relation. Obviously, he's a relationship with
He's like, okay, so Howard's like, who knew that the third date means
was
sex?
sex. Yeah,
And Raj is like, I've never had more than one date.
yeah,
And he looks at Leonard and he says, well, how long did it take you and Penny? And he says, it took us 2 years, but come to think of it, that was the third date.
yeah. And also for the fact that Penny also wanted to keep her options open.
Yeah.
Which once again makes you think, why is Leonard hanging around Penny if her whole idea is like, well, I don't mind being with you, but I want to keep my options open.
Yeah. Well, Leonard is not known for the best self-esteem.
No, he's not.
Plus,
So
the heart wants what the heart wants.
yeah.
And then Raj comes back with, but I was the fourth caller to Fever 104.
No, that's not it. Not that yet. Not yet, because the next scene is that Sheldon comes in and sits down and he goes, what are you guys talking about in the convention of the conversation?
He
You
says,
know,
I have
I have
news,
news, but I
but
won't
in the
butt in.
convention of conversation, I'll let you
Yeah.
finish what you're talking about. So what are you talking about?
And then, of course, they start talking about, they go to say something, and then Leonard's like, oh, it doesn't matter. What's your news? And he goes, oh, good, my turn. And this is where Kripke comes over and goes, oh, I hear that you're going to be on Science Friday on NPR. And he goes, oh, thank you, for ruining my surprise being able to tell my friends. And he goes, my
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
And this is where
And he's
even
like, well, that was not my thank you was not sincere, but my pleasure is.
Yeah. And as he says, the why at what point did NPR start having to scrape the bottom of the barrel for guests? And he goes to say, I
Don't
don't
answer.
answer. It's rhetorical.
Why are
Um,
you such a stupid head?
that was not rhetorical. So obviously, as we see that Sheldon is going to be on NPR because apparently they want to goose the ratings a bit with a little bit of
Controversy.
controversy. And he also says
Because it's pledge week.
this pledgery, and also his mother is going to be convening her Bible study group to listen and then pray for his soul. Because obviously, as we know, Sheldon is not a person that believes in God. He believes in science,
Thank
so
God he's an atheist.
he's an atheist for
As my
sure.
ex-husband used to say, thank God I'm an atheist.
Yeah. And so this is where we see in the next scene.
Excuse me,
Oh, sorry.
Fever
Yes.
104.
Oh, yes, sorry.
I was the fourth person to call in with the phrase that pays, and he says it in Hindi. And
That's
then
right.
everybody just looks blankly at him, and he's like, Fever 104, the radio station with the popular music.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Fever 104
Hmm.
is actually one of the most popular radio stations in India.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
Now
gonna have
that was
to.
nice, not scooting over me, wasn't it?
I didn't realize that. That is awesome. I'll have
Yeah.
to listen to have a look at that one. Fever 104 in New Delhi.
I guess it. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Um, so the next scene we see is Sheldon is well, obviously we're in the boys' apartment, and Sheldon is preparing his talking points for NPR for the interview, and he's like, and he says, I've made them so I want to make sure that they're easy to understand for the less educated. And he
Okay,
says,
so Fever 104
yep.
has offices and studios located in Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and Ahmedabad.
So I think it was the first one, New Delhi.
Yeah, he lived in Delhi, so.
Yeah, so I think it's yeah, yeah, New Delhi. Um, so after Sheldon has printed out these talking points, he asks Howard to look over them because he is the less educated of the group. And he's like, and Howard's like, excuse me, I went to MIT. I had to do so many hours of a thesis and so many hours of a
Original thesis, so many
thesis.
hours of practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, that's nice. Here, look over this."
Oh, and I
Which
love it
is,
how,
you
yeah.
love what?
No, I like the next scene where when Penny comes into the
Okay,
apartment
well,
and does.
and so I love how he's so dismissive of MIT and Howard's work there
Yes.
when young Sheldon shows us that MIT was one of his serious considerations of where to go for university.
Yeah, we saw that in Young Sheldon.
And not surprisingly, he and George got off the plane, walked out, and it was snowing. And he's like, "Nope,
It was
let's
like
go
a nor'easter
outback."
going. Yeah, it was like a nor'easter coming in, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you and I would just burst out laughing because yeah, we know that weather.
Yeah, a nor'easter is nothing to be enjoying about,
Nope.
And yeah,
Unless you're one of those weirdos that likes snow and cold and ice and
well, Kat's very happy because we're now in fall here in Australia,
mhm,
and then we'll be going into winter, and fall and winter are basically the same except for a small amount of rain.
yeah.
Yes, there are
Well,
parts of
no,
us,
and winter's a little colder.
yeah, but there are parts of Australia that do get snow,
Hmm.
like Mount Buller and Falls Creek. But not to a we've never had snow. Although no, we did. We had snow in up
The
at Mount
hills.
Lofty in the hills
That was a couple
for
years ago.
yep, for 6 minutes, and
Yeah.
it made national news.
Yeah.
And people drove up there to see it.
Hmm.
There were lineups, like car lineups for ages trying to get up to see snow
Snow.
fall.
Yeah.
And it fell for 6 minutes, and that was it. That was all the snow.
And honestly, if I never see snow again, I'm good with that.
Yeah, although we do want to go at some stage to either Mount Buller or Falls Creek to spend a week in the snow,
So I can
and
throw
then
snowballs at your head.
yep, and then drive away laughing maniacally.
Yep.
In actual fact, our idea of going into the snow would be now to go up there, sit in a chalet, drink hot chocolate, watch it snow, and maybe go outside every now and again to get us some fresh air, and then just stay inside watching the snow.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Yep. Well, I didn't even wear my winter coat last year. I never got cold enough.
No,
I only wore
I
my
bought
denim
us an
jacket.
yeah, I bought us an Udi. I wear it every now and again. Kat has worn it maybe once or twice.
I've worn it about 5 times
It doesn't get
in
cold enough.
in 4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't get cold enough.
I love my Udi. It has
Mm,
avo toast on it,
yes,
but avos and toast walking hand in hand together.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, I just don't get cold enough.
Mm. No, she doesn't, believe me.
No.
I've got a jumper on, she's got a t-shirt on. What does that say?
Yeah. Well, between my chronic fatigue syndrome and menopause, my temperature regulation's all over the place.
Yeah,
So, anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
So the next scene we see is we see Penny walks into the apartment. Now the boys are having something to eat. They're having dinner,
Yep.
and Penny walks in the apartment, into the apartment, and goes, "Hey Raj, talk to me." And
And
he's
Raj
like,
has food halfway to his mouth and just gets the deer in the headlights look panicking. He's like,
and
"Oh, I'm just messing with you."
yep. And this is where she actually says to Howard, "Why have you not called Bernadette?" And he says, "What, did you say anything?" And she said, "Yes, she hasn't heard from you in a week." And this is where Howard replies that he is not sure if she is his type. And of course, this is where Penny goes, "She agreed to go out with you for free. What more do you want?" And this is where he says he doesn't know whether he wants to settle with someone like Bernadette, where he was actually hoping for someone like Megan Fox from Transformers or Katee Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica. And I like it how how Penny looks at him and goes, "Are you high?" And a guy, and of course Leonard comes back with, that he thinks that maybe he would actually have more of a better shot with the three-breasted hooker from Total Recall.
And
And
Shower's like, now you're just being crazy.
yeah, and anyway, that movie was 20 years ago. Do you remember how saggy those things would be?
Yes, actually, I can.
Yeah, and this is where, Howard says to Penny, just because you settled and it's like did a little head nod to Leonard doesn't mean I have to. And I like it how Howard goes, Leonard goes, I'm sitting here, right? And this is where Penny says, well, obviously, Leonard is not the kind of guy that I would normally go out with, like physically. And he goes, what
Again,
again?
I'm
I'm right
sitting right
here.
here.
Yeah. And this is
And he
where,
turns to Sheldon and says, "You can see me, right?"
yeah,
And
that
Sheldon gets this very panicky,
look
confused look on his
look like
face.
what are we talking about? Yeah. So the next scene we see is Sheldon is on his interview with NPR.
Actually, right before that, you see Kripke in the closet.
Oh yes, Kripke in the closet, and he's got this little tube that he's where the big canisters of helium. Now you said there's helium,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah,
When Kripke pipes helium into Sheldon's office, he also needs to pipe in oxygen from the green tank next to it.
yeah,
Because as a scientist, he knows that if he only pumps the helium in, it's going to create a dangerously low level of oxygen. So if he keeps the oxygen up and along with the helium, it will still create the voice change of low density gas exposure.
that would make sense. Now maybe it's just the tube because you said
I
there's
mean,
supposed
there
to be.
could have been two tubes feeding into one,
That's
I
what I
guess.
thought. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that might be. But you only saw him turn the one
Like he was
nozzle
going
to.
like that, so I don't know whether
No,
he.
no, he was going to just one.
Oh,
He didn't see both hands. But
oh,
we're going to say that Kirby wasn't trying to kill Sheldon.
yeah. But the fact that he's putting this helium and
That
oxygen
is
in,
so okay. Okay. I Kripke is an ass,
yes,
and
he
he
is.
can be mean and selfish and insulting and degrading.
Yeah.
But he is also a professional. And I have a hard time believing that he would pull a prank like this that could actually damage the reputation of the university.
And of Sheldon.
Well, okay, he doesn't care about damaging Sheldon's reputation because he doesn't respect him.
But it's the reputation of the
But
university.
Sheldon is representing the university.
Yeah.
And Kripke theoretically would have gotten into trouble for doing that because it damages the university's reputation.
Yeah. However, I look at how big Sheldon's office is.
Uh-huh.
Now, for him to be able to pump that much helium and oxygen into that room, first of all, you'd have to seal up the window and the door. You'd have to make it basically,
Yeah.
you know, proof that it's not going to leak out. And to do that, it wouldn't take one tank. I would say it would take several tanks to open
I,
up that
I I
room.
don't know, but this is one of those things that you just can't look too closely at.
Yeah. But it's like I don't really believe that there's a possibility that you could make that room that with that amount of helium and oxygen to make your voice change.
Yeah.
I mean everyone's done the balloon trick where you put the helium into your voice.
Where you breathe in the
Yeah,
helium
yeah.
from the balloon.
And that's a
And that makes
small.
it really funny.
Yes, it does. And you can just do it like that. But that big space, no, I don't believe that amount of time is going to be able to make that happen. But
Especially that quickly.
but it is hilarious
Yeah.
to hear
But
because
you just can't look that closely at it.
no, but there is Sheldon talking about monopoles and things like that, and his voice is going higher and higher, which is hilarious.
It
And
is
even
hilarious.
and even Ira Flatow is sitting there going, I think we got something wrong with the telephone line. He goes, oh no, I hear you fine, but his voice is going higher and higher. And we then see that Kripke has got a little transistor radio and he's holding it in the cafeteria so everybody can listen to what's going on, including obviously Howard,
The gang.
Raj, and Leonard. And this is where he's talking, and of course, all of a sudden we hear Sheldon say, "Kripke, I found the nozzle. I'm going to kill you." And of course, Kripke's got that, "Yes, I've done it," and runs backwards and forwards in the cafeteria as if to say, "Yes, I got him." So that is a very, very funny part of the episode. The next scene we see is Howard is now relaxing in a bubble bath
Hmm.
in his in
Now,
the
okay,
home.
I'm happy to talk about the scene, but before we move on, I have some
Okay.
trivia for you.
Okay.
No, go ahead and talk about the
Oh,
scene, but
this
before we
scene?
move on from this scene,
Okay.
I want to make sure you don't try and skip
Yeah.
over me again.
Okay. So he's in a bubble bath, but he is imagining himself with Katee Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, the new Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, and I like it how she said she thanks him for being part of his masturbatory fantasy. And even Katie says to Howard, because Howard goes,
She's
thank
like,
you.
before we get
Before we get
underway here,
started,
I want to ask you a question.
and he goes, "Oh, do you want to play Cylon and Colonist?" And she goes, "No.
No.
Why are you imagining yourself with me, where
When you
you
could
could
be
be
with a
out
real woman.
with Bernadette?" And he
Well,
goes,
no, she says when you could be out with a
"With a
real
real
woman.
woman."
And he's like, oh, you mean like Bernadette? And she's like, no,
No, with
Princess
Prince
Leia.
Leia.
Of course, Bernadette.
Yeah, she's a really great girl. And he goes, "Well, yeah, she is, but she's not you." And Katie
She's
comes
like,
back with,
I'm not
"I'm not
me.
me." He says, "I'm currently in Beverly Hills with a rich guy, a tall rich guy." And he goes, "Tall?" She goes, "6'4." And he goes, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we hear his mother say, "Howard, what are you doing in?"
Howard, what are you doing in there?
And he's like, I'm taking a bubble bath."
Well, I hope that's all you're doing. You know, we share that bathtub.
And I like it how he goes, "Don't remind me." And then he looks over to where because he's sitting there with a glass of wine. And he looks directly in front of him where Katie
Katie
should
was.
be, and
There's
Katie's not
nothing.
there.
Aw, all soaped up and nowhere to go.
Now, what is your trivia?
Okay. Katie Sackhoff's, and I love this.
Yeah.
Katie Sackhoff's appearance in this episode came about because
Mm.
she accompanied her Battlestar Galactica co-star Trisha Helfer when she was making a guest appearance on Chuck Lorre's other show, Two and a Half Men.
Oh, okay.
Lorre approached her about a cameo on The Big Bang Theory, and Sackhoff had previously turned down that episode in season two when the chance of playing herself went to Summer Glau on the
Oh, the
Terminator
Terminator
decoupling.
decoupling. Yeah.
So she instantly leapt at Chuck Lorre's offer. Now, Katee Sackhoff is the second Battlestar Galactica actor to appear on the show. The first had been Michael Trucco in the Bath Gift Item Hypothesis when he played David Underhill.
David Underhill.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah,
And he was on Battlestar Galactica.
yeah. He was Samuel Anders on the new Battlestar Galactica.
Okay. See, I haven't watched the new Battlestar.
We really should watch that.
I like the old one.
Well, so do I. But we started watching that, and now I can't get you to go back to it because you keep doing
Oh,
that to me.
please.
Okay,
Stop.
guys, tell me if this doesn't drive you nuts. You're
Okay.
watching something with someone, especially if it's whether a movie or any kind of series, and you get halfway through the movie or three episodes into the series, and then the other person says, "Okay, I'm bored. I want to watch something else," and they won't finish it with you. Okay? I cannot tell you how many times he has done this to me. Roswell, Battlestar
And
Galactica,
what are we watching today?
Twisters,
Hmm.
hmm
And before that,
Cow.
do you know how many times I've seen that bloody movie?
Well, that's usually your idea when we watch it.
I didn't
So
say
you
that.
can't say that.
I didn't say we were going to watch Twister. I said we are going to watch Twisters.
Yeah.
And then you said, let's do a double feature. We have to watch Cow first.
No, I did not say we have to. I said it might be fun to. And you're sitting there acting like I'm strong arming you into it.
But
I'm
yet,
not. I just merely suggested that it could be a fun double feature.
but yet, everybody, I have watched every episode of Love on the Spectrum, um, Love is Blind.
Some of the Love is Blind, I really didn't care and I didn't want to watch. So that's not the point.
No, I didn't watch the Japanese one.
Okay, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, we got sidetracked.
Yeah,
We're
well,
also
that's the
really
point. You get sidetracked and then you never go back. And I'm stuck saying, I want to watch this with you. And then we never get, like Roswell. I've been
okay.
asking for 2 years to go back and watch Roswell.
Well, I've got it on the hard drive sitting right
And that's what
next
you
to me.
always say, but we never watch it.
See what she has to put up with everybody. A person that doesn't go back and watch stuff.
I mean, okay, seriously, in the comments or email,
Mm-hmm.
tell me, does that drive you nuts?
Perpetual motion squad 00 at gmail.com. Please make sure you make it out to Kat and say, Dear Kat, yes, it does. It makes me crazy. She's trying to find an emoji, but she.
No, I'm making a note so that I put it up as a bonus question.
Okay. A bonus question is going to be, does this drive you nuts? Okay. So the next scene we see is Sheldon is laying on his bed. He is very depressed and humiliated about being, with this thing being on NPR, which I understand because it's really shot his credibility. It's made him look foolish in front of the university. It's made him look very foolish in front of his friends, obviously. So, this is where Raj and Leonard come in to talk to him. And basically, Sheldon's unwilling to leave his bed ever again. And this is where we find out that not only was Raj mocking him a little bit, but how Leonard was laughing so hard he fell on the floor.
Okay, I'd like to point out
Yeah.
that this is the second episode when Raj chooses to mock one of his friends over having their back and helping them.
Yes.
The first one was episode season 2, episode 15, the maternal capstance, when they were having lunch and he threw Howard under the bus.
That's right. Yes. So, yeah. And so this is where Leonard and Raj basically say to Sheldon, well, you need to get back at Kripke. You can't just let Kripke do this. And this is where they make compare or even Raj makes comparisons to the Joker's vengeance on Batman, basically
Hmm.
putting poisoning the Gotham City's water supply. And this is where Sheldon thinks that he could maybe kill Kripke with an untraceable chemical. And they're like, no, no, that's a little bit too far. Let's find something else. And maybe tone it down a non-lethal prank. And of course Sheldon's like, maybe I can put a whoopee cushion on his seat in his office, so when he sits down, people believe he's flatulent when he's actually not. And they're like, a little bit more than that, but we'll figure it out. So this is where the whole idea is coming to fruition. The next scene we see is Howard is coming to the Cheesecake Factory, and I love it how Penny says, "Oh, you just was Scarlett Johansson and Wonder Woman were just here trawling for little guys like you."
No, Black Widow and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, no, she said Scarlett Johansson
Oh,
and Wonder Woman.
did you?
Yeah.
No, because it was two fictional characters.
No, she said Scarlett Johansson and
I
Wonder
don't
Woman.
know. Might have to go
Yeah.
back and watch that.
And of course, this is where she says he says to Penny, well, Bernadette is working today, isn't she? And she said, yes, she is, but I don't think she wants to see you. And this is where Bernadette walks past and goes, hello, Howard. Really just be very dismissive, like, and he goes, okay, well, um, and this is where I think to myself, Howard, you're a little bit, you are not a little bit, you are definitely way over the top because he says to Bernadette, he gets down on one knee and says that he'll never find another girl like her
Yeah,
that likes him and is like real. And she's like, is this more comedy than I understand? And he goes, Bernadette, would you marry me?
yeah.
In the middle of the Cheesecake Factory.
Hmm.
And she goes, we've only had 3 dates. We haven't even had sex yet. And Howard goes, oh, that's okay.
When's
When's
your
your
break?
break?
Jeez.
I can imagine Howard taking her. If she had said it's, in 20 minutes time, I could imagine Howard taking her out in the back seat of a car or in the, I
It
don't know.
out back where the trash is.
Yeah, just to do it so we can get it over with.
Yeah,
And this is where she says, is this a joke? And he goes, no. And she goes, well, then you're insane.
yeah.
And walks away. And of course, Howard is still down on one knee, no, actually on 2 knees, sitting there saying to everybody who's now looking at him, don't you just hate it when this happens? So, but it's like, really, Howard? Come on. You know,
And Penny was so embarrassed on Bernadette's
I
behalf.
know. Yeah. And so the next theme we see is we're in the boys' apartment, and
Hmm.
Sheldon has come up with this great idea. And he does a chemical experiment in front of the boys, and it's basically adding
Hydrogen peroxide,
ordinary dish soap, and saturated potassium iodide to
and then
produce basically,
and then you add hydrogen peroxide to that.
and then it becomes like this huge quantity of foam, like it's enormous. Now,
It's a
first,
genuine one, and it's often used in practical jokes because it is hilarious and is often referred to as elephant toothpaste. The hydrogen peroxide decomposes slowly to form water and oxygen gas. The
mhm,
presence of potassium iodide catalyzes this reaction, so it produces large quantities of oxygen very quickly. The gas then causes the liquid detergent to froth copiously, like it did here.
yeah. Now, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Just thinking about it. He's added that in the boys' apartment. It foams up. It
Yep.
looks amazing.
Hmm.
To put that amount of copious stuff into, because he's put it into the ceilings of Kripke's lab,
Hmm.
he would have had to have done that how many times to make it foam up? Then he has to scoop the foam up and put it into something to transport it to the lab to put it up in the ceiling. Or would he
No,
have done it in his
no,
lab?
no. I think what he did is he took a container of the chloride and then he took a container of the hydrogen peroxide. And when they reach the center, it combines them and the ceiling collapses out and it
But he also has to
falls.
include dish soap in there as well to make it.
That would be in in the one compound with the chloride.
So okay, so once Kripke's way the way they've got it is that um
It's on a motion sensor so that
Raj
when he
sits
reaches the middle of the room,
it activates. Now,
mhm,
Raj is very, he's like, wow, you remind me of a young Lex Luthor. And, Sheldon's like, oh, you
you
flatter me,
flatter me.
sir. And he's put a webcam in Kripke's office
So that they can watch it
so
happen.
they
Now,
can
what's
watch it happen.
interesting is that Sheldon's revenge basically is private to Kripke, as opposed to Kripke's public humiliation of Sheldon,
Exactly.
which
But,
I find interesting that Sheldon didn't go more public with it.
well, no, he does because
No, he didn't. He didn't know anyone else was going to be in that room
oh,
besides
no,
Kripke.
no. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, I'm thinking public as in he uploads it to YouTube so everyone can see it.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. But so, and he says that he bribed a janitor with a dollar bill, to basically keep quiet of what he was going to do.
And to
So,
let him into Kripke's office.
yeah. So now there we are. We're watching Kripke's office or Kripke's lab on a webcam.
Hmm.
We see that Kripke walks into the center, and as he says, as soon as he reaches the center, it's motion activated, so it will start doing it, and then it'll dump it all on him.
Yeah. Now, just before Kripke is doused with Sheldon's practical joke goop,
Yep.
he addresses President Siebert and the board.
Yes.
Now, obviously, Josh Malina, who plays President Siebert, isn't in the shot because it wouldn't make sense to pay a premium actor to have no lines.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I
And we
thought
don't
too.
actually see him until next season.
No, we don't. We see somebody that because he does address President Siebert, which is a much larger, older man. It's
Hmm.
not the one that we know of as
No,
President
no,
Siebert,
Josh Malina has always been President Siebert.
but the guy that he was that
The other, it
Kripke
was,
was talking to.
yeah, it's a different guy.
Yeah. Okay. So we see them come into the frame, and this is where he says, "Oh, there's Kripke. Oh, and President Siebert and the board of directors." And Leonard's like, "Abort, abort, abort!" And he's like, "Well, I didn't put in abort." And he goes, "Why didn't you put in abort?" And he
And
goes,
Raj is like, "Why didn't you build in an abort?" And he's like, "Well, I made a boo-boo, okay."
"Uh-huh." All of a sudden, I love I made a boo-boo. All of a sudden, this stuff dumps on Kripke, on the board of directors, on President Siebert, and hundreds and thousands of dollars of lab equipment.
Now, did you notice, however, I think he left the dish soap out of it because it didn't foam up like the stuff in the
Thank
apartment.
you. It didn't, did it?
No, it
It was
really
more
didn't.
goopy.
well, honestly, if he had put in the same ratio
Yeah,
to, oxide to or whatever to dish soap,
potassium. Yeah,
it would have filled the entire room and suffocated them.
yeah. So it was just basically it almost looked like it was like very runny
Oh,
porridge.
okay. So when Sheldon is demonstrating the goo to the boys, he has this large, really tall, thin test tube,
Hmm.
and that's what and there's something in the bottom of it, and he
Which would be
pours
the dish soap.
no, he pours in the whatever oxide,
Yeah,
and he poured in the other stuff, and it foamed over and out.
and then it
That's the
expanded,
reaction
didn't
that
it?
we got in Kripke's
Yeah,
lab, without the sudden ginormous foaming.
yeah. So it didn't foam.
Yeah.
But the fact is that he dumps all this crap all over Kripke, not
Mhm.
only Kripke, the
But
president
is
and
all of his
the board,
equipment, the
but all over
entire
the
office,
equipment.
practically the entire office was covered with it.
Yeah. Which means that Sheldon has taken the practical joke to a felonious
Yeah.
level.
It's assault plus damage of university equipment.
Yeah.
Intentional
Because
destruction of university equipment.
yeah, because that because the amount of money that the university would have to redo to give Kripke an entire brand new lab
Yeah.
because everything is destroyed in that
Yeah.
room. And
Sheldon should have been fired for that.
he should have definitely and brought up on charges.
Yeah.
From the from not only from I mean Kripke could have done it because that's assault,
Yep.
right?
No, Kripke,
Yeah, it hit
yeah,
Kripke,
it
so
was.
that was
Yeah.
assault. So it
Yep.
would have been assault plus it would have been criminal charges with regards to the destruction of university lab equipment.
Yep.
And obviously there's a policy that the university would have had in place. So he would have violated that as well. So Sheldon would have been in a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, he should have been fired
Yeah. Um,
with
so I
bad
like it.
reference.
Yeah. So I like it how after the whole thing has happened, Leonard goes, well, at least they don't know it was you. Then you
Yeah.
hear ding ding ding, and we see that there is a monitor on a
Kripke, no,
bench.
there's Kripke's laptop.
No, it was a computer monitor. Was it on the?
No, it was
Is
the
it?
laptop.
I thought it was just a
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah.
And we find out that Sheldon is videoed saying, if you want to see your stupid face reaction, that this has just been uploaded to YouTube. Oh, and I also want to thank Leonard Hofstadter and Raj Koothrappali for their support and their
Inspiration to do this.
inspiration to do this. And I like it how they're both freaking out, like, oh my God, I cannot believe they've
And I
he's
love how
dropped us
Raj
into
looks
it.
at Leonard and says, "Well, I'm going back to India. What's your plan?"
Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, like you have, you've thrown us under the bus. All we said was you should get back at Kripke. That is it.
Yeah, we didn't say you should destroy things
No,
and hurt people. And
you went this direction.
yeah.
You've
Okay.
made this decision.
Now, I'd like to point out a couple of things here.
Yeah,
First, Sheldon's messy revenge on Kripke, which inadvertently also hits the president of the university and the board of directors, does remain remarkably free of consequence.
definitely, which he
Even
shouldn't.
though Sheldon foolishly identifies himself as the man behind it and Leonard and Raj as accomplices, they still have their jobs in the following episode.
Yeah,
No indication they suffered any penalties or long term issues at work, let alone deportation for Raj. Sheldon even wins a university prize later in the season, the pants alternative, and the only fallout may be that the regular guest character Kripke is absent for more than a season, not returning until the toast derivation, which may indicate that he and the gang weren't on speaking terms for a while. Not that they really were to begin with.
no, they weren't. But what should have really happened is that um,
At the very
Sheldon
least,
should have
they
been
should have
put.
gone to CHR.
Well, yeah, but Sheldon would have been placed on administrative leave.
Yeah.
Raj and Leonard. They should have actually, if they had been called into HR, they should have said, we suggested him get
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
but
I think
not
they would
that.
have gotten a slap on the wrist and a don't
Yeah.
do it again.
But Sheldon would have been
But
placed on administrative
Sheldon,
leave.
at the least, should have been on administrative leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, Kripke should have been disciplined as well for embarrassing the university.
Yeah. But
Now,
however, I also think that maybe Sheldon would have actually had, and I'm only saying this, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me,
mhm,
but having his wages garnished to try and pay back some of the
yeah,
damages
that
of the
wouldn't be
equipment.
surprising. Now, I would also like to point out that the exothermic reaction, i.e., the creation of the elephant toothpaste
Yeah.
prank, is highly dangerous and should never be done in real life. The foam created from the reaction can reach temperature. I also just realized that when he did the experiment at home, he had safety glasses, but Leonard and Raj didn't.
No, they didn't, did they?
No, they didn't.
Because you could see the steam coming off of it,
Yeah.
couldn't you?
So the foam created from the reaction can reach temperatures of over 200 degrees Fahrenheit and cause severe burns if it comes into contact with a person's skin. Kripke and the others who were doused with the foam in the prank would have been seriously injured with burns.
Yeah. Okay. So what's 200 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
Well, let's go to
I was going to look it up, but you've got the computer there, so you might as well get it. You'd be faster than I am.
82 Celsius. Uh,
That making me very curious to see what
is
temperature it's going.
93.33. Or if it's or because scientists often use Celsius. So if it's
Yeah.
200 degrees Celsius, that's 392 degrees Fahrenheit. That's third degree
Third
burns.
degree burns,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. So that's probably and that's probably another reason why he would have just did what you said, just add the two compounds together without the dish soap because it
Yeah.
would have actually made that
It would
problem.
have suffocated them.
Yeah, and burnt them, and yeah, there would have
Yeah.
been a whole lot of
Well, it
problems.
still would have
But
burned them.
yeah, but there is a lot more problems that he's got right now with the amount of money that he's got to
Yeah.
come up with. So the final part of the episode, which is probably the most embarrassing part
Hmm.
for anybody else that's watching this, I know. Look, I am one of those people that if I'm watching a movie and it's embarrassing, I'll literally turn away because I get embarrassed for the character.
Yeah.
The next scene we see is Bernadette is clearing dishes off of a table, and Penny comes in and she says, "Oh, here's your tip from the other table," and she says, "Oh, thanks." And then all of a sudden we hear Howard saying, and he's on the stage, he's in front of a
Yeah.
piano,
There's like a permanent band set
yeah,
up there.
and he's got a little blue light on him,
And
and he
he's got an
says,
electric keyboard.
yeah, and he's saying, I want to dedicate this song to a really great gal who I wronged. And I'm like, and first of all, I'm like, oh God, don't do this. And Howard starts singing at the top of his voice, Sweet Bernadette, adapted from the Four Tops.
You stole my last trivia.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was your last bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but it is
With
so
his own lyrics.
embarrassing. And of course, this is where Penny is sitting there going to Bernadette, I am so sorry set you up with
Well,
this guy.
okay, I love okay, so she says, "Do you want me to throw him out?" And she's like, "No, that's okay." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Really? He's small. I bet I could get a nice tight spiral on him."
Yep, you could. And she's like, no, that's okay. And he is singing at the top of his
And
lungs.
it's awful.
And it's off key, it's awful. And this is where, when Penny says, I'm so sorry about this. And Bernadette comes back with, are you kidding? This is the most romantic thing that anybody's ever done for me.
Yep.
Oh, Bernadette, you poor love.
Yeah.
If this is the most romantic thing that someone's ever done for you,
Yep.
you have never lived. You really haven't. And right at the end of the episode, after Howard finishes singing, he goes, "Thank you, Cheesecake Factory." The episode goes black, and that is the end of the episode. Now it's just 22 minutes goes by so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's faster than what we talk about,
Yeah.
but it is just such a fast episode because it's a fun episode. But as we said, there are some glaring mistakes in that.
Yep.
Obviously, the helium into Sheldon's office, and the fact is that he's destroyed an entire lab
Yep.
to get
Full
back
of
at
equipment.
Kripke.
Yep.
That is, as I said, I'm at a guess. I'm thinking, I don't know, 800 to $1 million of equipment sitting in that office.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah,
If not more.
and on top of the fact that, and okay, also another thing that could actually happen is that Sheldon has destroyed obviously lab equipment and stuff like that, but you've got the wardrobe, people are what they're wearing, suits,
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff that Sheldon has destroyed
Yeah.
in that small little
Yeah,
prank.
it was not commensurate with Kripke's sin.
No. Yes, Kripke embarrassed him but he did not destroy anything, even
He didn't
other
hurt
than no,
anything.
other than the fact that he drilled a little hole in a wall that can be covered
Yeah.
up. But Sheldon goes and destroys an entire lab. It's funny to watch. Believe me, it is, I've laughed so many times at that scene. It's hilarious. But when you look at it logically in the real world, you realize just how much shit that, that Sheldon is now in and how much damage that he has done to that lab.
Yep.
It's yeah. But yeah, I don't think the reason that Kripke's been away is because of the fact that he's not talking to the gang, because he only ever talks to Sheldon, really. I mean, he'll talk to everybody, but it's only through insults and humiliation that he
Yeah.
talks to them. He doesn't really become a part of the group.
No.
Even like when Howard goes for his bachelor party and he goes, I thought there was going to be strippers, and where are the strippers? That's, it's not really a big conversation that he ever gets involved
No.
with the boys. So, but yeah, I like this episode. This is certainly in the top 10
Yeah,
of my favorite
definitely.
episodes. This is a really good episode.
Yep.
As I said, I just wish that they had just made Bernadette a nicer girl.
Yeah.
Leave her the way that she was. There's no reason to make her bitchy.
No. You
She
can
can
be
be
strong without being bitchy.
yeah, yeah.
The perfect example, Olivia Benson.
Yeah, she's a strong woman, not bitchy.
No, she's not bitchy. She can be if she needs to be, but she's not
Yeah, my wife, strong woman, not bitchy.
most of the time.
What, you're most time bitchy?
Most of the time, not bitchy.
No, you're not. You're not bitchy.
Sometimes I am.
You're a strong woman, not bitchy. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So we had oh, actually Caltech was times two. Okay, so we had one Chinese takeaway, two Caltech cafeterias, and one snack.
Okay.
Actually, when was the snack?
Uh, two Kojic takeaway and a snack.
I don't think we did the snack, did we?
No,
Actually, let me just double check my phone because I did the thing on there.
we did two Kojic lunches.
Yeah, it was just one Chinese and two Caltech.
Yeah, yeah. It was the yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do
Sorry,
snack.
yeah,
Somehow
we
I got that wrong.
didn't do
Okay, there we
snacks.
go. All right. Um, Chuck Lorre Productions number 269. I have long believed that part of our problem with resolving race issues in America is our inability to accurately name what we are. Aside from the occasional Johnny and Edgar Winter, there are no white people. Any child with a box of crayons can tell you that white people are, in fact, beige. The sickly ones are gray. Following this crayon logic, one can easily see that there really are no black people. They are brown, or perhaps raw umber, or maybe burnt sienna. Actually, that's not true. I have met a couple of people from like Uganda who have the blackest skin I have ever seen.
There is a
And it's
model that's got
black.
yeah, there is a model that's got the blackest skin.
Yeah, they're like from where she's from.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, okay. But by and large, he's right. Frankly, every time I hear someone comment on America's first black president, I can't help thinking, no, he's not. He's more like caramel, which is why I think we should all get in the habit of calling each other what we really are. How can you racially slur a man by calling him beigey or umber? The answer is you can't, because that's exactly what he is. The melanin doesn't lie. Buy a box of Crayolas and see for yourself. We are all members of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Can I hear a kumbaya?
Yeah.
I like
And
that
that
one.
he's not untrue about that.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah. But there is a model that is she's got the blackest of skin.
Yeah. Oh, she's
Absolutely
stunning.
gorgeous. She's
Yeah, she's
absolutely
stunning.
stunning. But she has got the darkest skin I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Well,
You
she's
know.
not widely known as the darkest person in the world.
Mm,
Yeah, but she
yeah.
does. She's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, so our question for the week.
Mm.
What's the most ridiculous thing someone has done to annoy you, and did you get them back?
No, I can't say I have. Have you?
Well, what's the most ridiculous thing someone's done to annoy you?
Um, I don't know. I can't think of my off the top of my head.
I have, and I did.
Okay, do tell.
This is my ex-husband, a story about my ex-husband.
Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo,
Ooh, shwing. Uh,
diddle-a-doo. Shawing.
okay, so back when I was first married was when my metabolism shifted and I started putting on weight. I used to be 110 pounds soaking, no, about 104 pounds soaking wet, and I couldn't put on weight to save my life. Then my metabolism shifted and it's been a battle ever since.
Mm.
Um, so one day, my ex-husband and I were sitting there, and he started poking me in the belly and going, "Mrs. Pudgy, Mrs. Pudgy." And I was like, "Please don't do that. That hurts my feelings." He's like, "Oh, well, you know it's not true, Mrs. Pudgy, Mrs. Pudgy." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay, well, how about if I start calling you Little Dick? You know it's not true." And he's like, "Right?" So about a week later, he had
Oh,
completely
dear.
forgotten this conversation, and he looked at me and he starts poking
Dear.
me in the belly, going, "Mrs. Pudgy, Mrs. Pudgy." I didn't say a word. I held his eyes, I
Mhm.
glanced at his crotch, and I looked back at his eyes, and he never did it again.
That is an awesome revenge story.
I love that one.
The fact you didn't say anything, you just looked and he knew what you were thinking.
Uh-huh.
That
And
is
he
priceless.
knew that I would do it in front of his friends too,
Oh.
because he would do it to me publicly. He would do things like that to me publicly. And he knew that if I got pushed to do it, I would do it publicly. Fortunately, I never had to.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
So that is the question of the week, everybody.
Okay. Now, I also want to take just a moment
Hmm.
to acknowledge the newsletter that I got from willwheaton.net or
Hmm.
.com, um, announcing that they had to put their dog Marlowe down last month.
Yeah,
And this was his soulmate dog, and it's been a very devastating loss for Will Wheaton. So we want to veil Marlowe and send all our love to Will Wheaton.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, we I don't know, it's really interesting how, we pay a lot more respect to our animals than we do to ourselves,
Mm, yeah. Yeah,
where,
a lot of people, if you treated an animal the way that you tend to treat yourself, you would be put in jail for abuse.
yeah,
Yeah.
whereas we can actually have the respect to our animals and go, you're getting old, you're sick, you're not very healthy, whatever it is, and you give them the respect to die with dignity.
Yeah.
But
And we
us
can't
as
do that
human
with
beings,
people.
we can't do it to ourselves.
Yeah, I remember
You
going
know,
through that with my dad.
the amount of hurdles that you got to jump through to have death by dignity is quite amazing.
Yeah.
But I did watch a very, very wonderful documentary many years ago called To Die in Oregon. And it's a place where you can actually have assisted dying.
Mm,
And it's a wonderful documentary. Yes, you do see people passing away, but it is the respect and dignity they actually have in the last parts of their life
yeah.
to say, hey, this is the way that I want to go. I don't want to be sitting in a nursing home bed, not knowing who I am, shitting and pissing myself, hoping that death comes. You can actually make an arrangement to actually pass away with dignity. And I think
Yeah.
that's what we need more in the world is that, if we are sick and you know, we are not going to get better, and we don't want to just have our friends and family nurse us to death.
Yeah. Literally.
Give us the opportunity to die with dignity.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's
Well, I
upsetting.
remember watching my dad go through everything that he went through before he died. And afterward, I remember thinking to myself, now I understand why Dr. Kevorkian does what he does.
Yeah, I I watched my mum pass away with stage 4 breast cancer,
Yeah.
and I think if it had been possible, if I had been able to say to her, how would you have liked to have passed away? She would have been like, not in a nursing home bed. I want to pass away with dignity, with my family around me, with my faculties, being able to tell you goodbye to everybody and,
Yeah.
depart that way. Not with the indignity that my mother sustained in the last, months of her life. So,
Yeah.
and there's nothing morbid about that. Death is going to happen to all of us. It's just that, we need to be able to treat ourselves with respect as much as we treat our animals.
Yeah.
We love and adore our animals,
Yeah.
We give them the dignity.
Yeah.
There needs to be a universal thing that says we are allowed to do this. Go to a doctor, discuss with them, and then they say, okay, we can get this organized for you that you can pass away with dignity.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. So yes, we
Well,
do
I
fit.
remember one time when I was a member of my religion of when I was still practicing my religion of origin,
Yeah.
and um and I asked them about that, and they basically said that this is God's final test and they have to go through this in order to attain glory in heaven.
Mm,
And I thought that's bullshit,
yeah.
personally.
We don't want to get religious on this
No, we
podcast, but
don't.
yeah,
No, we don't.
there is certainly arguments to be said about that. So,
Yeah.
but yes, we send our condolences to Will Wheaton. We're sorry that you lost your puppy dog.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
do we have any more housekeeping to do, or are we done for the day?
Nope, that is it for me.
Okay. Yep, that's all it for me. Thank you once again to everybody who comes to visit us here at PMS, and thank you just for taking time out of your busy day, wherever you are in the world. We really appreciate you coming to listen to us because, without you, it would just be two people just sitting in a room talking to each other about the Big Bang Theory. And
Yep.
we're so glad that so many people all over the world love what we do. And we do this because it's a passion for us that we
Yeah.
just love talking about the Big Bang Theory.
Speaking of passion, if you enjoy
Yes.
what we do here, we'd love for you to buy us a coffee just to say a little thank you and show a little appreciation if you would
Yeah.
like to do that.
If you would
There
like
are
to.
PayPal me links everywhere
Yep.
in the show notes, in the Facebook group and page, or you can email us.
Perpetual Motion Squad 00@gmail.com.
And we would love to hear from you. Also, if you'd like to be a guest host with us, we'd love to have you on the show. So just email us
Same one,
at
Perpetual Motion Squad 00@gmail.com. We've got to write that down so you can say it too.
no, I like letting you say that.
Okay. Because I say it
Um,
ad nauseum.
yeah, so
I know it off by heart.
uh-huh. So anyway, email us and we'd love to have you as
Yeah,
a guest. So
absolutely.
anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you with us. Please like and subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to or watch this podcast. We love having that and it helps other people find us.
hmm
If you know someone who would like to join the podcast who loves Big Bang Theory too, please feel free to
Yeah.
share because
Bring
the
them
more
into
the
the
merrier.
family.
The more the merrier.
Yeah. Bring them into the family.
Okay, so that's it for this week. Next time we're doing season 3, episode 10, The Gorilla Experiment, which is where we find serial apist.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Yes, it
And
is.
we'll see you then. And in the meantime, we'll catch up with you at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye, everyone.